wanted to make a quick video and all like the Souls-like games. Well, not Souls-like, the Soulsborne games, and I wanted to see which one is you know, the best, ranking them from horrible to the best. Now, personally, I don't see any of them being horrible. None of them, in my opinion, are horrible. And if any of them go in the bad category, it's mostly because they're not bad games. They're definitely not bad games. They're just bad Souls games, Soulsborne games. You feel me? So it's not like they're bad or anything. So, let me start. I don't know. Let me see. We have. Wait, hold on. Let me rearrange. Let me kind of like rearrange this a little. All right. First, we have Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 for me is like it's great. I'm gonna just put it as great. The reason why it doesn't have anything higher, because even though it's the first like game, like Souls game I've ever played, it's personally not my favorite out of all of them. It is good. It is great. I think it would be my top. Let me see, one, two, three, four, five, six. It'd be my top three. It's in my top three or four, but it's certainly not my favorite. It was my favorite when I played it at first, but playing it again recently, I like it a lot, but at the same time, I feel like another one on this list does something way better. It's a great game, anyways. It's still a great game, and yeah, it's certainly a good one. Don't get me wrong. It's still as you see, it's still great. It's a really great game. So yeah, that's it. Let me see. Dark Souls 2. I'm gonna put bad. And no, I don't mean it's bad in a, well, personally, I'm not gonna act like I enjoyed it a lot, because to be honest, I did not really enjoy it. There's some things I enjoy in it, but a lot of the things that I do enjoy certainly does not outweigh the thing that I didn't enjoy. So, like, one thing I enjoyed in that game is it has a lot of levels. That's a good and bad thing at times, because when you have a lot of levels in these type of games, you're kind of forcing yourself to make bosses, a lot of bosses, and some of the bosses are just like not it, because there's so much. But at times there's some cool ass places in it. Um, like Majula, is it Majula? I forgot everything. Majula is a pretty place. The areas in this game are fascinating. I like the areas in Dark Souls too. Now, things I don't like, I'm gonna just name like the main one is the clunky combat. That is one of them. Another thing I didn't like was it has a lot of it has the bosses weren't that fun and memorable in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Like, you know how in Dark Souls 3 and 1 you have so much memorable bosses, especially even in Bloodborne as well? I don't think Dark Souls 2 had a lot of memorable bosses. There were some good ones like Sir Alone or Sir Alon and some other ones, but personally I don't really like most of the bosses in that game. And yeah, at times I felt like it was kind of unfair because it has so many weird things in it. Like, I think iframes wasn't really a thing in Dark Souls 2, because if you open the door while enemies are attacking you, you'll get, instead of like instead of your character keep opening up the door or whatever, you get hit and you have to start that door animation all over again. So that's one thing I hated. Another thing I hated is how slow recovery is. Like, recovering in the, recovering in this game is like recovering in any Souls like game is like a risk, but in Dark Souls 2, it's a big risk, a really big risk. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy it that much, but by bad, I don't mean it's a bad game in general. I just mean it's a bad Souls game. So yeah, Demon Souls. The remake. I'm gonna talk about the remake and not the original because I didn't play the original, and I'm pretty sure the original has a lot of problems that the remake doesn't have. So I'm gonna put the remake at great, and the reason why it's at great because it's a great remake, it's a great game, but I feel like the remake could have done way more. I don't know. I feel like it could have done way more. Well, that's a lie. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Nah, it didn't have to do way more. The game itself is really good. There's a lot of things to do in it, and there's a lot of weapons. You can make different builds. But the problem that I had with it was how much harder the bosses in this game. I've played the game like 3 times. First on a magic build, which is broken, not broken but overpowered. The second is on a strength build, which is it's all right, I guess, but it's not the best build to be honest. When playing this type of game and playing Demon Souls, and my third build was just I think was a Moonlight Greatsword build. I don't know. It's still a magic build. No, the problem I have with Demon Souls is how narrow everything is. Like every corridor, every hallways, every staircase is just a one man narrow. I don't know, it's just a one man hallway. You have ancient castles and stuff like that, and only one man can fit in that hallway. Like it sucks. It kind of sucks to be honest. And I'm glad most of the other Souls games don't really have that. And it's always like there's a narrow ass hallway, and there's just one enemy blocking that path. And it's like, come on, bro. You can't even sprint past the enemies, which wouldn't be bad. But if you have a strength build and you're using a giant sword, or what's it called again? Not even a giant sword. You could be using an ordinary sword, and this is another problem I have is using. I used the Dragon Bone Smasher in one of them, my playthroughs, and it was a good weapon, but it was so bad. I've almost felt like the sword did not belong in this game at points because most of the areas you're in are narrow as hell. So when you like do an attack, your Dragon Bone Smasher is a big great sword, so it's gonna just bounce off the wall or something, and it's just annoying. Yeah, the combat felt fun. A lot of things felt fun about the game. The bosses were kind of disappointing at first, but after a while I came to love the bosses. I wish they didn't have so much like gimmicky bosses, like because I feel like it would be way more enjoyable. But there's some like bosses that aren't really gimmicky. Like some of my favorites are like Flame Lurker or what's his name again? Penetrator or Sarah Long. No, Sarah Long, that's Dark Souls 2. What's his name again? Sir King Alont. Yeah, King Alont. So yeah, I don't think none of the I don't think the game is bad. I'm reminding you, this is the remake I'm talking about. Yeah, the game is good, but there's some little difficulties and stuff like that that I feel like. Oh yeah, one more thing. The enemies in this game, the areas in this game felt way harder than the actual bosses, and that was kind of disappointing for me as well. Cause like the areas, I don't have a problem with like areas that are hard and have a lot of enemies, which I kind of do to be honest, but it's not really a big deal. But at the same time, it's more like playing Demon Souls is mostly just like, all right, getting past. You don't even want to fight the enemies at points because there's so much gangs of enemies, like gangs and groups, which I didn't really like. But that's just scraping the surface. There's some other things, but I'm not gonna go into them for this one. It's still a great game. That's why it's right here. What the hell? Alright. I'm gonna put this back. Alright. Next one is Dark Souls. I'm gonna put Dark Souls at okay. And some people might be like, some people are saying like for them, Dark Souls is the best game. And for me personally, I don't think it's the best one. Maybe that's just me though. Like, I feel like the reason why I just put it at okay is because it it aged well. Like the game aged well. Well, I played the remaster, not the original, but I'm pretty sure the game aged well. When I played the remaster, it was alright. It was just that I played better, which I mean, to be fair though, Dark Souls 1 is way better than Dark Souls 2 in my opinion. It's way, way better. Even the combat, which I thought the combat would be way more slower in 1 compared to 2, but nah, that was a lie. The combat in 1 felt a bit faster than 2, but that's not the point. Dark Souls 1 is just it's a great game, but well, for me it's an okay game to be honest, because to me it's just an okay game. It's the first out of the series, so well, it doesn't do a lot of things, like for example, Dark Souls 3 was the best combination between Bloodborne and Dark Souls, and it nailed it properly. Dark Souls 1 was great, but I just felt it was okay. And by okay, if a Souls game is okay, you have to keep in mind that if a Souls game is okay, it means it's really good. It's just that it's okay for Souls game, like Souls game standards. But I feel like the game is okay, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion. I know a lot of people like played it and say it was the best game, but for me personally, I don't think it was. Mostly because it wasn't my first one that I played. And there's like Dark Souls 3, which has a better combat and stuff like that, you know. Next is Sekiro. I'm gonna put Sekiro. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna put Sekiro at amazing. Sekiro is an amazing game. The combat is really, really fun. And if you know right now, which you don't know, because you know what, I like fast combat in Souls-like games, and Sekiro has that Souls-like formula and fast movement, fast combat, and I really like that. Now, it doesn't mean that, oh, you have to dodge, 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 hope you don't get hit. Nah, Sekiro, on my first ever playthrough of Sekiro, on my first ever playthrough of Sekiro, I played it like a Dark Souls game, and I got my ass handed to me over and over and over again. But on my second playthrough, which was what, late 2019 or early 2020, it was way better, I think. I think it was 2020. The combat felt like I started deflecting, which I did not know that deflecting. I thought holding down the block button was just deflecting. My dumbass, I swear. But nah, deflecting is way different. And that helps you keep like engaged in the combat way more because you have to like keep deflecting. It's almost like you're not even focusing on your enemy's health. That's one of the main mistakes of this game. Focusing fo- Focusing on your like the enemy's health bar is a main problem in this game. You have to focus on their stamina bar. So you can't really do that. So yeah, the combat feels nice. Now, I'm gonna say this. The replayability for me personally is not the best. Like, if I was to rank all the games for replayability, I would say Bloodborne has it for me. Bloodborne, even Demon Souls and Dark Souls 3. have it for me because those games you can make the I mean in all of these except Sekiro you can make builds, different builds and stuff like that. So yeah, that's one of the main issues I have is that you can't really make different builds. And another issue I kind of have is that there's because you can't really make different builds, you have to use the same combat over and over again, the same combat style, which is basically deflecting. And it can get old. Not while you're playing it, but after you finish, let's say you want to play it again, it can get old. So I wouldn't say it's the best for replayability, but it's certainly an amazing game. Now, the very best, in my opinion, and it's obvious, is Bloodborne. Man, this game is beautiful. This game is magnificent. I've already made like a review for it, and this game is in my personal opinion, the very best Soulsborne game. And the reason why is because I just like the atmosphere. I mean, the atmosphere in all of these games are really great. But Bloodborne, personally, I like the atmosphere a lot. The combat felt fast and like fluid, and there's so much great things about this game. Another good thing is that while it's short, it's gonna be a good thing and a bad thing. And just hear me out. It's short, but at the same time, it's more like it gets what it needs to get done, if you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't do the Dark Souls 2 route and be extra long and kind of fail to make interesting bosses and stuff like that. No, it just keeps it short, and the bosses are way more like. I feel like out of all the Souls games, Bloodborne and Demon Souls is probably the shortest, but Bloodborne is certainly the best short one. And this is because the bosses in this game are so good, except Mikolash. I'm not gonna get like fuck Mikolash, the worst boss in any Souls-like game. I'm not gonna get into details about him, so I'm not. But yeah, out of all the Souls-like games, this is my personal favorite. And I want to the only one of the only problems I wish like the game I wish that it didn't like have, but I understand why is I wish it had more weapons. And I know that trick weapons are basically like two weapons combined, but I personally prefer if it had like way more weapons. And it doesn't have to have like eight like 120 weapons or this and that. Now it could probably have a bit more, but I personally just I like the game because what's happened to me recently is that I've beaten the game like 5 times for the past month or two, and I've been like DLC included, and I've been like saying I want to start a new build, but all the good weapons I'm kind of like are kind of gone. I used the Holy Blade. I used the Whirligig Saw. I used the Blood Letter. Well, not really. I did not use that weapon. It's hard to get. I used the Chikage. I used a lot of weapons for different like playthroughs, but then, but as I said, that was just 5 playthroughs, and I know it has more weapons, but those weapons weren't really that interesting for me personally. So yeah, I wish it had way more weapons and the clothing. I like the clothing in this game, like the armor, which is not really armor, it's just clothes. But I wish it had a bit more, to be honest. I said that a lot. But yeah, it's still the best, in my opinion, out of all these games. It's still, for me, it's the most replayable out of all of them. Some people say Dark Souls 2 is the most replayable. Some people say Dark Souls 1. I feel like replayability is more like and let me tell you, replayability and the more fun and fun aspects is like it's more of a personal thing. So yeah, this list is personal for me. Yeah, Bloodborne is definitely the best out of all of them in my opinion. So yeah, Bloodborne. magnificent. Very best. Sekiro, just it's amazing. Great. Dark Souls 3 and Demon Souls. Okay, just Dark Souls 1 and bad. And now when I say bad, I just mean bad as like a soft game, because for Dark Souls games. So I don't mean it's a bad game in general, just bad in terms of not their best. Like it's definitely the weakest out of all of them, in my opinion. So yeah, that's it.